Alrighty, so today we are going to be talking about translations. This is the start of our new unit on transformations. And basically, these are sliding things on the coordinate plane. So, transformations are changes done in the shapes on a coordinate plane by rotation, reflection, or translation. A translation is a slide, a rotation is a turn, and a reflection is a flip. A translation occurs when a figure is shifted across the coordinate plane. Translations preserve congruence and orientation. Well, what does that mean? Congruence means it remains the same size and the same shape, whereas orientation means that the shape is facing the same direction that it started with. The rule for translations is that I'm going to either add or subtract something from either the x coordinate or the y coordinate or both of them. A horizontal translation occurs when something is being added or subtracted from the x value of a coordinate, causing the object to move left and right. Our x values on the coordinate plane move left and right because you have your negatives to the left and your positives to the right. To move left, you're going to subtract a value from the x coordinate, and to move right, you would add a value to the x coordinate. Vertical translations occur when something is being added or subtracted from the y value of a coordinate, causing the object to move up or down. Remember, our y-axis is vertical. It runs up and down. Therefore, if I'm moving vertically, I must be moving in the y, and I'm going up or down. To move down, you're going to subtract a value from the y-coordinate, and to move up, you will add a value. Alrighty, here we go. We have the points A is at -2, 4, and B is at 1, 1. I'm going to translate both of these 3 horizontal and -2 vertical. Since that 3 on the horizontal is positive, and horizontal means we move left or right, I'm going to move 3 spaces to the right because it's a positive 3. Vertical means we move up and down, and since that 2 is negative, I'm going to move down 2 spaces. So A over here is starting at -2, 4. So if I move 3 spaces right, I go 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go down to 1, 2, and that is where A prime ends up. Now notice this has an apostrophe next to it. That is called the prime symbol. Basically, all that means is it's the new point. So that's the new point for A, and it's called A prime. And I can see that the location for that would be 1, 2. B, I went 1, 2, 3 to the right, and I went down 1, 2 as well, and I ended up at 4, -1. There's your coordinates for A prime and B prime. Remember that apostrophe symbol means it's the new point or the new shape. Now, be careful when you're counting. Make sure you're counting on the actual cross between the horizontal and vertical lines. You're not counting the squares, you're counting the lines where they intersect. And when you're writing a rule, how you write the rule of translations is you're going to start with xy, because that was our original point. Like A, the original point was -2, 4. And then I write the change in x and the change in y. Well, I added 3 to the x, and I subtracted 2 from the y. So we added 3 to the x, subtracted 2 from the y. Here's our next practice. We have C is at -4, -5, and D is at 2, -1. This time I'm going to translate -3 horizontal and 2 vertical. Remember, horizontal is in the x, and that means moving left or right. Since it is negative, I'm going to move 3 spaces left. 2 vertical, well, vertical is in the y, so that's moving up or down. The 2 is positive, so I'll be moving up. So C, I'm going to move 3 spaces left while I'm starting at -4, so I go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to end up at -7, and then I'm going 2 spaces up. So from -5, I go up 1, 2, and C prime, remember the prime means the new one, is at -7, -3. I'll do the same thing to D here. I'm going to move 3 spaces left, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to move 2 spaces up, 1, 2, so I end up at -1, 1 for D prime. Again, there's our coordinates. And to write the rule, we always start with our generic xy, and then we write what happened to the x and to the y. I subtracted 3 from the x and added 2 to the y, and that is our rule. Now I have a shape. We're going to translate triangle DEF 4 units left and 3 units down. Then write the coordinates of D prime, E prime, and F prime and the rule of transformation. Well, there's our original ordered pairs. You could also take those off the graph. I'm translating -3 horizontal because it's 4 units left and -3 vertical because it's 3 units down. Again, we're going 4 spaces left and 3 spaces down. So all I'm going to do compared to the last time is instead of just moving 1 point, I'm going to move all 3 points. So I'd start with D. I'm going to move -4 places to the or 4 places to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 3. 1, 2, 3, and then I do that to all of the other points, and this is where I end up with D prime, F prime, and E prime. Then I can just simply look at their coordinates. D is at -3, -2. That's D prime. E prime is at 1, -1. And F prime is at -2, 2. The rule again, we're simply writing what happened to the X and the Y. I subtracted 4 from X and I subtracted 3 from Y. Hey, translation movement. What do the rules mean? Remember, you're just describing what has happened to the X and happened to the Y. Well, X, I can only move left and right. And since I'm subtracting here, I must very well be moving left. So I move 1 space left. Y, remember, you can only move up or down. I'm adding here, so I'm moving up. So I go left 1 and up 2. For X here, I'm adding 3. So I must be moving to the right. Y, I'm subtracting 4. I'm moving down. Here, X is just by itself, so there's no change, so I'm not moving left or right. And here we have Y -7, so I'm moving down 7. Now from the words, we're going to translate that to the rules. 3 vertical, that 3 is positive. Vertical means we're moving up or down, so I must be moving 3 up in the Y, so that's +3. There's no comment about horizontal, so X is just going to stay the same. 4 horizontal and 1 vertical. The 4 is positive, so I must be adding in the X, and the 1 is positive, so I'm adding in the Y. -5 horizontally, I must be moving to the left, so I'm going to subtract from X, and then there's no mention of vertical, so Y stays the same. 1 horizontally and -4 vertically. Well, 1 horizontally means I must be adding 1 or moving right 1 in the X, and -4 vertically means I'm moving down 4 in the Y. All right, your homework for tonight is homework 1-1 translations. It is due on Monday. Thank you.